There, we want to welcome you in here on this Thursday. I'm Tim Pham. I'm also joined by meteorologist Thomas Patrick here in the studio with us. Thomas, happy Friday Eve to you. We're one day closer to the weekend, and it's going to be it's a 3-day weekend too.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to that.
Got any fun plans going on, Tim?
Just hanging out.
I was actually planning on trying to make a quick trip to Seattle over the weekend, and you might be doing the same as well, because that is one of the bigger travel weekends of the year. A lot of people using I-90 to cross the state, so I might be right there with you. But for our weather today, our final day of meteorological summer, one more cool day, another day where we could see some rain chances as well. The last 2 days have been peppered by some rain. Times heavier than others, but today will likely be the lightest rain that we see of these past 3 days. But you see quite a bit of some showers over southwestern Washington and towards Portland. That will be heading in our direction in the next couple hours. So the cloudy and rainy weather does keep us cool today. Highs will only top out in the 60s before a bit of a warmer 3-day weekend.
All right, 6:02 here. We have an update now to a wildfire that sparked near Orofino, Idaho. Thanks to some rain, firefighters stopped the forward progress for the hospital fire, and it is now 80% contained. Now, Clearwater County has lifted all evacuations that were in place for the fire that has burned about 50 acres. 6 structures were lost along with many outbuildings. The county says 45 firefighters are working on the fire. Crews are making good progress on containing both the Oregon Road and Gray fires. The Oregon Road fire is now 79% contained. We know one person was killed in the fire, 49-year-old Alex Brown. So far, the fire has scorched nearly 11,000 acres, along with 258 outbuildings and 126 homes. Meanwhile, the Gray fire in Medical Lake is now 90% contained. The fire burned 10,000 acres and has destroyed 259 structures. We are working to find out how many of those homes were destroyed. Authorities say they are still working to get that formal count. Well, one person also died in the Gray fire, 86-year-old Carl Grubb, and there is a GoFundMe page set up in his memory. He was one of the founders of the Jensen Memorial Youth Ranch in Medical Lake. The GoFundMe page was started by Grubb's nephew. He wrote, quote, "My Uncle Carl was a humble giant of Medical Lake's community who impacted countless lives positively." KREM 2 spoke with people who live in Medical Lake last week who told us they are determined to continue his legacy. Right now, the page has a $50,000 goal. All of the money will go to the Jensen Memorial Youth Ranch. Turning to North Idaho now for the Ridge Creek fire. Significant rainfall is helping fire crews get a better handle on the fire that's been burning for more than a month. Right now it is 49% contained. People who live in the Bunko area are still under level 1 get ready evacuations. Our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press report air crews have dropped 270,000 gallons of water and 143,000 gallons of retardant on the fire. The perimeter of the fire is more than 22 miles, with 10 miles considered contained. Spokane City Council is slowing down the formation of a regional homeless authority. It's been in the works for months now, but council members believe more needs to be done before it becomes a reality. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones live in downtown Spokane. So Brandon, what's the status of this actually forming? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. Well, so many council members and several other residents here in the community who push and are activists for homeless rights in our community. They just felt like things were moving way too fast, and ultimately that's what went ahead and slowed this process down. Others said that you only get one shot at doing this right, so they want to take their time and make sure that they're not rushing anything. So Spokane was on track to join with Spokane Valley, Medical Lake, Airway Heights, and other surrounding towns to launch the regional collaborative. SRC released their proposal in June, but the Spokane Homeless Coalition and other service providers have recently voiced their concerns. One of the main issues was a perceived lack of input from service providers and a shortage of space on the governing board for those providers or people who lived with experiences of homelessness.
And so if you want to meaningfully address homelessness in Spokane County, you've got to work primarily with the people who do it on a daily basis.
So the resolution to pause the formation of the SRC was passed on Monday with a 5-1 vote. Moving forward, council is asking for more transparency and sharing of data before they agree to participate. That includes information on funding, a detailed operations budget for 2024, and the revision of the current draft charter to focus on housing and homelessness. For now, reporting live in downtown Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
The time now is 6:06. It's time for your morning rush. More news in less time. Happening today, the Elmira School District holding a ribbon cutting ceremony for their brand new school. You may remember in October of 2021, the 80-year-old school building burned to the ground. The district got $13 million from the state to build a new 50,000 square foot building. The ribbon cutting ceremony is set to start at 4 p.m. today. The first day of school, by the way, next Tuesday, September 5th. New this morning, 2 Coeur d'Alene firefighters have returned home after being a part of a recovery mission in Maui. Our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press report Cody Moore and Chad Matchell are a part of a group called Idaho Disaster Dogs. They worked with 2 yellow labs to help them search about 3,000 buildings destroyed in the Maui wildfires. Those fires killed at least 115 people. And for another year, Spokane Public School students can take public transit for free through the SPS Connect program. Students can use their student ID to get unlimited free rides on STA buses. This program was introduced last year to address the district's ongoing bus driver shortage. That is a look at your morning rush.
This morning is fairly cool across the region, though it is still overcast skies, and our temperatures are starting to feel a bit more fall-like recently, haven't they? That's mostly a result of the rainfall that we've had, and the rain is still possible for today as well, so it is going to keep things cool. It's in the 50s right now, and we only get into the 60s today. That's it. It's going to be a cool finish to August, a cool finish to meteorological summer. But what about meteorological fall, which of course starts on September 1st? Actually a bit warmer for a couple of days. We'll squeeze out a couple days in the 80s and then look for our next chances for scattered showers for Sunday and Labor Day Monday.
Tropical storm Idalia is still wreaking havoc along the southeastern coast this morning, and less than 24 hours after making landfall as a Category 3 hurricane. CBS News' Christian Benavides is in Florida with a first-hand look at the destruction it has already left behind.
Overnight, a weaker Idalia moved over the Carolinas, bringing heavy rain and storm surge flooding.
A lot of wind, a lot of rain, nothing too crazy.
A similar scene in southern Georgia, where the storm's strong winds toppled this basketball net and snapped off tree limbs.
Unbelievable.
But in Florida, where Idalia first came ashore as a powerful Category 3 storm, there's a trail of destruction in coastal towns like Horseshoe Beach. This video captures the moment the historic storm surge demolished a home. Cleanup efforts are underway around the state, including in Cedar Key. Here's where part of a motel used to stand. It's been wiped out. In Hernando and Citrus counties, first responders and the National Guard rescued stranded residents.
I lose everything, including my car.
As residents come to grips with the aftermath, crews continue to work to clear debris and restore power to tens of thousands of homes. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Cedar Key, Florida.